Good evening, everyone. Kalla here. Welcome to my live stream. Glad you could make it today. So, time for more Radiant Tale. Last time, we finished up our set of performances, and we healed the prince. Although apparently he's not entirely healed yet, and they've decided that the best way to help him regain the growth of 10 years or so, was it 10 years? Somewhere like that, is to send him around performing with us again. So yeah, that's where we are. Hello, Drag. Yeah, I just realised that I hit the wrong hour on the scheduler when I was setting up the stream. But we're starting at the correct time. I'm not late. Not any later than I usually am. Yeah, it was 10 years. Thank you. Alright. I let out a deep breath the moment we arrived at Liba. Thanks for saving us, Ion.
いや、謝る必要など全くない。自分も王子の影響力を失念していた。
Ah, yes, we just learned that it was a terrible idea to just wander around with the prince. Because he's going to get mobbed.
まさかああも人が集まるとはな。次から顔を隠すべきか。
回復したのを喜んでくれてすごく嬉しかったけど、でもあれだけの人に囲まれるとちょっと怖かったかも。
ショーの本番では今よりもずっと人が集まるぞ。
Don't scare the kid, Ian. I gave the two of them a sideways glance. The show, huh? Is there another picture for this game? Yeah, I also should have changed the thumbnail, and I realized that with about 5 minutes to go. I was going to change it to specifically indicate that it was Eon's route, and I forgot that I was going to go do that. Yeah. Kalla's brain no work sometimes. So I was just going to change it to just the on, but I'll remember to do that later. I relaxed myself, enjoying the cocoa Ayan made for us as I thought about it. By the way, what kind of performance do you want to do, Colivus?
どんなって？
I like how Vilio transforms into a dragon and uses fire magic in the air. Or like Eon with his martial arts. We all usually incorporate our special skills into the show, but I have no idea what you want to do.
王族は強い魔力を持つと聞く。それを活かせばいいのでは？
I considered that too at first, but...
僕、魔力は人より多いけど、制御はまだ上手じゃないんだ。パスハリアに教えてもらってるけど、今朝も川を氷漬けにしちゃって。
You accidentally froze a river. That's strong magic. Colivus muttered and his shoulders slumped.
でも僕、魔法以外にできることなんて何もないし、こんなんじゃステージに立ってもサーカスのみんなみたいにお客さんを笑顔にするなんて。
I mean, everyone will be happy to see you at least.
なんで笑うの？僕 僕真面目に悩んでるのに。
すまない。少し懐かしくてな。
Flashing a rare smile, Ion looked in my direction.
自分は戦うことしか能のない男だ。人を笑顔にすることなどできない。
Ion said the same exact thing back when this all began.
そうなの？でも僕が見た時はお客さんみんな笑顔になってて、僕もイーオンのショーを見てかっこいいな、あんな風になりたいなって思って。
Hearing that, a soft smile appeared on Ion's face. He glanced over at me and poured another cup of warm cocoa.
自分のショーで皆が笑顔になってくれたのなら、それはティファリアのおかげだ。彼女は教えてくれた。たとえ薄汚れた身であっても、それでも誰かを笑顔にできる、誰かを幸せにできると。
Ion. He was far too self-depreciating. None of us ever thought he was tainted. Well, he does tend to say things like that, but I made a mental note to tell him how wrong he was later. Hi Nick, how are you doing?
じゃあ僕もできるのかな。ステージでみんなを笑顔にして嬉しい気持ちでいっぱいにでき。
ああ、自分にもできたんだ。コリブスにできないはずがない。
You've been practicing so hard to do just that after all. Colivus clenched his fist at those words.
パスハリアに言われたんだ。あとは人前で緊張しなくなればきっとうまくいくよって。
なるほど。要は度胸か。ならば魔法に疎い自分でも多少の役には立てるかと思う。
With a gentle smile on his face, Ion grabbed Colivus by the shoulders.
いいよ。
度胸をつけるには特訓あるのみだ。
I totally forgot about this side of Ion, since he's usually so calm and gentle. What are you doing, Ion? Terrifying the kid? But he's from Ferris after all. A city full of muscleheads. Oh, look how cute that is. Look at it. Colivus screamed, his voice echoing through the clear blue sky.
よしビリオ、もう少しだけ速度を上げてくれ。
おうコリブス、しっかり捕まっとけよ。
I do like all the chibi CGs you get in this. They're very cute.
捕まるも何も。
For Ion's special training, we took Vilio along and went to the meadow on the outskirts of the city. Isn't this a little far? While we had put great care into making sure Colivus wouldn't fall, it was still so scary to see the prince in such a state.
度胸というのは場数を踏むことで得られるものだ。こればかりは教えて身につくものではない。多少荒っぽいが度胸を身につけるにはこの方法が最短だろう。
The fastest way to become courageous, huh? I don't know. Seems like the quickest way to develop a fear of heights you never had. Oh. It doesn't make any sense at all.
コリブス、ビリオ、ランチを用意してあるから、もう一周でひとまず休憩だ。
お、期待できそうだな。じゃあサービスで宙返りだ。
I almost swallowed my tea. Billio, what? Billio, no. Good luck, Colivus. I gave a small thumbs up to try to encourage him. Eon cooked us fried chicken, omelettes and sausages, among other things. We spread them all on the picnic blanket. A smile grew on my face at the sight of our lunchtime setup. This feels like a parent day somehow.
授業参観
Aw, you're saying you feel like parents. Tifalia. How cute. It's an event where parents can come and see their child at school. We'd all try our best to impress them, like actively answering questions and all. It was a lot of fun. I closed my eyes, feeling nostalgic. Meanwhile, Eon was staring right at me.
そうか。あなたの両親は
He stopped talking, a guilty look in his eyes. I guess he was being considerate. I know. And that's why I was usually so depressed on parent days. But one time, Spirea and Reddy closed Liba just to attend. I was so happy that day.
本当に二人はいい家族だな。この間食事を共にした時もそう感じた。
Oh, you mean...
いい音だったね。確かに顔はちょっと怖いけど、料理もできるし、いい男じゃないか。どうだい？今後行くとこなかったら、リーベルを継いでみるってのは。
I shook my head after recalling something like that at such a strange time. Colivus and Villio approached our picnic, having finished their last lap.
いやー、腹減った。あ、うまそうな匂いしてるじゃんか。
Oh, welcome back, you two.
存分に腕を振るわせてもらった。遠慮なく食べていってくれ。
無理。胃がひっくり返って。
What did you do to the poor kid, Villio? What did you do to the poor kid? Is the stream okay? It's doing a buffering thing at my end. The status says it's fine, but... Is the stream doing anything weird for anyone else? Sounds like the answer to that is yes. Oh, is it back? Yep, I think it may be back. If someone could confirm. It's weird because the stream status thing didn't say anything was wrong. Clearly something was. Oh. Cool. Did you miss anything on your end? I think I caught when it started buffering on my end, but... It's weird because there wasn't actually anything going wrong. Because I still, like, got chat and everything. So clearly not a my problem. Clearly a YouTube problem, right? Oop, did it again, very briefly. I think it's okay. Alright, let's carry on, and and hopefully it won't happen again. Oh, we have some soup and other light foods you can eat. You'll be fine. I smiled at Colobus as I encouraged him. Leo's eyes blinked wonderingly at us. What's wrong, Vilio?
いや、なんか今のやりとり、親子みたいだなって思って。
What?
それって僕が子供でイーオンが父親で。
That's the thing you were thinking about already, Tifalia.
ティファリアが母親。なんとなくしっくりこね。
No, not at all. Right?
自分が父親か。面白い見解だな。
See, he's got no issues with it, Tifalia.
だろだろってことは俺はやっぱ
ペットだな。
なんでだよ。
Family. For a moment there, I wondered what it would be like to start a family with Eon. Oh, what am I thinking? Shoo, go away, thoughts. I drank my cold tea all at once, looking away from the two men chatting happily on. Colobus tilted his head at me and opened his mouth to speak.
一つ聞いていい?
Huh? Sure. What is it? Colobus quickly glanced over at Eon and Vilio. He leaned forward and whispered in my ear, as if he was about to tell me a secret.
ティファリアはイーオンが好きなの?
Perceptive kid. Yeah. Why are you asking me that? And no, I don't.
イーオンと話してる時だけ笑い方がすごく優しいから。
Tifalia, stop denying it. I don't think so. Pretty sure I treat everyone the same. I tried to dodge his question by stuffing some omelets into my mouth. For the rest of my lunch break, my eyes were basically glued to the ground. I couldn't bring myself to look up at all. Yes, you see, that's what we need. We need a small perceptive child to point out to our romantic leads that they should start acting like it. That's how it works, right? We only had a short time to prepare for the show, and it passed in the blink of an eye. Before we knew it, the big day had arrived. People flooded in, wave after wave, all hoping to see the awakened prince. The tent continued to fill until there wasn't any room left in the audience. Some people are even standing. I've never seen this before.
今までで一番の観客数だな。さすがは記念公演か。
Look at his little crown. And his robes. It makes him... The design's kind of jesterish, right? Kind of jesterish. Are you ready, Colobus?
大丈夫じゃないよ。もう心臓が破裂しそう。でも
He clutched his chest and took a deep breath.
怖い時々もあるけど、嬉しい時々もあるんだ。
Sounds like a good mixture.
こんなにたくさんの人たちが僕が回復したことを喜んでくれてる。そう考えたら答えなきゃって思うんだ。
ああ、その息だ。度胸を鍛えたのが役に立ったな。
Yeah, I guess it seems to have worked, Dion.
あの特訓はもう二度とやりたくないよ。
It was tough, I agree.
さて、そろそろ出番だぞ。一番手だが、いけるか？
うん。頑張る。
Ooh, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? We'll be cheering you on from here. Good luck, Colobus.
行ってきます。
Ion and I gently pushed Colobus's back. He took the stage, the spotlight pouring down on him like sunlit honey.
Ladies and gentlemen! 皆様、本日はご来場いただき、誠にありがとうございます。病で伏せっている間は、大きな心配をおかけしましたが、こうして再び皆様の前に立てることを心から嬉しく思います。それでは早速ですが、最初の演目をご覧ください。僕が得意とする氷の魔法とアクロバットを組み合わせた新しいショーの形、魔法演舞。
This little prince bounced up and down on a sheet of ice that stretched across the stage. The ice sheet became taller and taller, rising as Columbus jumped higher and higher. His physical strength might be vastly inferior compared to Eon's, but his talent for magic made up for it, and the crowd cheered with excitement. Backstage, we were clenching our fists enthusiastically. Say, Eon, how would you rate... No, try that one again. Hey, no, say, Eon, how would you rate your beloved pupil's performance?
愛弟子と言えるほど指導したわけではないが、だが見事なものだ。自分の教えたことを吸収してさらにアレンジを加えている。もうこれで大丈夫だな。
Eon? I didn't know why, but he sounded like he was planning to leave when he said that. The next moment, Eon patted my shoulders lightly.
さて、ステージに乱入の時間だ。そろそろ行ってくる。
Oh, okay. Good luck. Eon went straight out without replying to me. I watched his performance, feeling strangely distant from him. No, Eon, you're not allowed to leave. You're not allowed to leave. Later on, that night, a storm of applause filled the entire tent.
みんなよくやってくれた。おかげでコリブスが回復したことを国民へと大々的に示すことができた。国王としても父としても改めて礼を言わせてもらおう。
我らサーカス一同、身に余る光栄です。
We had been summoned to the palace to receive words of praise from the king himself.
父さん。いえ、国王。それでは僕は。
ああ、今回の公演で確信した。サーカスと共に巡る旅は必ずやお前の糧となることだろう。行ってこい、コリブス。そして帰ってきた暁には一回り成長した姿を見せてくれ。
はい。
Olivus answered cheerfully as the rest of us exchanged happy looks. And your journey is finally about to begin. It saddened me to know I wouldn't be able to see Spirea again for a while. However, there was no hiding my excitement for this turn of events. Now I can be with you all a while longer. I turned to look at Eon next to me. But he simply stood there, a sorrowful expression on his face. Eon?
さて、では諸君には一度別室に移動してもらおう。魔法具の貸与許可証の更新と通行証の手続きを行うからな。
Wow, these passports don't last very long, do they?
はいはい。そんなのそっちで適当にやってくれてもいいのに。
重要な規則だ。適当に済ませていいことではない。
We headed towards the anteroom as Aleste, who seemed to be in a bad mood, took the lead. But then...
ああ、イーオンはこちらへ。今までの旅、ご苦労だった。
はい。
No! I need Eon to come with us. What?
魔法具などを借りているならば、返却の手続きを取ってくれ。それと、謝礼についてだが。
Wait a minute! Aleste had so casually moved on to another topic. I felt the need to raise my voice. Oh, what did you say just now? It's as if...
あなたの受け取った通りだ。自分は今回の公演を最後にサーカスを離れることになる。
No! Why? I was taken aback by the sudden bombshell thrown my way. Leaving? Eon? Leaving circus, but why?
おいおい、何の冗談だ？最後って何なんだよ。ジーニア、お前は知っていたのか？
それは。
Would be a yes. Genia did know this was going to happen. I felt my heart hammer against my ribcage when his face darkened. So, that means Eon won't be joining our trip?
突然抜けるって言われても困るよ。まずは理由を教えてくれないかな。
I'm assuming the reason is that the government doesn't trust him around the prince, given the control ring is still missing.
イオンが抜けたらショーが成り立たなくなるんだし。
その点に関しては問題ない。自分の学んできたことは全てコリブスに伝えたつもりだ。
I mean, I don't think you should teach Colibus everything, you know. But
今後も自分の穴を十分に埋めてくれることだろう。
I don't think he's a good replacement for you.
そういう問題じゃねえだろ。
Filio, irritated, grabbed Eon, but
待てこの件に関しては私から説明しよう。
yeah, you better explain, Alest. Alest interrupted everyone.
今後王子が同行されるにあたり、国側でサーカスメンバーの素性を改めて確認させてもらった。その結果、イーオンは不適格とみなされたという話だ。
Yeah, the government thinks he's going to be unsafe. Boo.
じゃあそれって僕が入ったせいでイオンが抜けるってこと？
お察しください、コリブス王子。あなたは次期国王となられる身。そんな御身の旅に危険人物を同行させるわけにはいきませぬ。
Dangerous?
元剣闘士奴隷という点ならば、我々もすでに認識しています。ですが、今のイーオンは温厚で問題を起こすようには。
残念だが、温厚さはこの場合関係ない。彼は自身の意志と関係なく、無差別に人を襲う可能性がある。インタリオリングの刻印。彼の身を縛る呪いが解けぬ限り。
Thankfully, Alest then explained what all of this was about. The intaglio ring was a mystic tool created by the Great Spirit of Fire, a core item that had gone missing. Those who were engraved with the seal couldn't disobey orders given by the ring bearer. Eon had said as much to me before. But the other members who hadn't known about this were shocked.
それじゃあイオンはその刻印に命令されて剣闘士をしてたのか？
その通りだ。そして刻印は今も残っている。もしも旅の途中でリングの所有者が眼前に現れれば自分は逆らえない。
As long as the person with the ring doesn't know the prince is involved in the show, we could just disguise him. Yeah, I feel like the fact that the prince is in the show is going to be a major publicity thing for us this time around, right? I'm not sure there's a way of preventing that information.
それが仮に王子を殺せ という命令だったとしても、自分は当然王子や仲間を害する気は毛頭ないが、自分がそれを守れる保証はどこにもない。
Silence fell between us after we learned of Eon's circumstances. The king nodded as he looked at us.
実感が湧かないならば見えるようにしてやろう。
これは鎖？
What are we doing?
リングの持つ支配の魔力を一時的に可視化したものだ。
Oh. This is what binds Eon? The main cause of everything.
もっとも、こんなことをしなくとも、魔力が高い者はうっすらと気配に気づいていたはずだが。
I turned my gaze to Pashalia and the others. They nodded with grim looks on their faces.
なんだか魔力っぽいものを感じるとは思ってたけどね。でも僕は火の力には疎いから気のせいかなと思ってた。
俺も似たようなもんだな。なんかあるのは感じてたけど。
So you can sort of sense there's magic there, but that doesn't mean you can sort of sense exactly what it is, right?
これで分かっただろう。自分がサーカスを離れるべき理由が。
Wait! I desperately tried to stop him from leaving. Are you really okay with this, Eon?
それでいいとは？
I mean, we have no idea where the ring is, right? And nothing's happened so far. So I'm sure...
その保証はどこにもない。何かあってからでは遅いんだ。
でも僕もイーオンにはまだ教わりたいことが。
王子、なりませんぞ。
Controlling Colobus with the aides standing on the sidelines.
この男はもともと奴隷出身。試合の上とはいえ人殺しでもある。あなた様とは生きる世界が違う。関わるべきではない類の男です。
Well, I mean, that's rude.
でもイーオンはいろんなことを僕に教えてくれたんだ。自分がサーカスを去るって知ってたから少しでも僕に技術を託そうって。
それが間違いなのです。人殺しの吹き込んだ話など王子が覚えておく価値はない。
I don't like these ministers. They're being very rude about Eon. Oh, did it mess up again? I didn't even see the problem this time. It still looks like it's okay to me. Huh. Nope. Yeah, you're right, it's buffering. It's weird because it didn't show me that on my preview. Are we back? Are we back and how much did we miss? If chat could please confirm that we're actually back. Stable for now. The amount missed is kind of unknown. Oh no. That's not good. The ministers have been being very rude about Eon. Did you guys get that part? It's buffering again, isn't it? Right. now along with the preview that Studio shows me, I've just got YouTube open on my phone so that I can see what's going on. It doesn't look like it's buffering there anymore. Nope, not that button at all. This button? No. I can't remember what the button is. Change skip backlog. There we go. We got told Foyin couldn't come with us. Got to show the magic, and yeah, that's basically where we were. The minister's called Eon a murderer, even though that's not accurate. Right. The moment I heard what the minister said, I could feel the heat rising to my head. Eon is aware of his sins. Even without being told, he knows how dangerous he is. That's why he did this for our sakes. Really? Really? It's buffering again? Seriously? I think it's stopped again. What is wrong with YouTube today? Feels very difficult to carry on with this while it's doing this. Well, we'll try the best we can, right? She says, and then immediately notes that it starts buffering again. Is it buffering this much for everyone else? What do you think, chat? Should I give up? Because if it's just going to be unstable the whole time. Yeah, my phone was doing buffering. So it's been fine since you said it was stable. YouTube. What? The only time I've seen it be buffering on the preview on my on my desktop has been the first time. And since then it's mostly just been the face. So actually maybe what I need to do is just do that. Thank you, YouTube. Very cool. Unsure if it is still buffering for other people, because it's buffering for me. Ooh. Oh, no. Thought it was back for a sec. Maybe it's back? Okay, it's not buffering on my end anymore. How is it for everyone else? Are we back? Can't to say anything unless you jinx it. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You want this to happen while I'm playing Maiden Kaitos instead of this track? But this I can at least sort of pause. Right. While it's knock on wood, working. Let's get back to Thalia being very angry for Onion's sake.
だが見事なものだ。 自分の教えたことを吸収してさらにアレンジを加えている。
It said that and then immediately went to buffering again on the phone. Wow, is the stream delay really that long? That's wild. Mostly fighting, so there's little chance of anything being missed. Yeah, but if things go down completely while I'm in the middle of a fight, I can't easily fix them. But yeah, good point. Anyway.
もうこれで大丈夫だな。
He even tried to pass on what he knew when he accepted the fact he had to leave.
そんなもの一刻も早く忘れなされ。王子には不要です。
5 to 15 seconds. Yeah, that sounds about right. YouTube keeps trying to suggest to me that I use the ultra low latency setting, but I'm kind of worried that it'll just make the stream buffer all the time. Because I don't... So I don't really want to experiment with it. I don't know. Depends how you guys feel, really. It's like I could try it out sometime. I kind of don't want to try it out in something I'm in the middle of. Just in case it goes horribly wrong. That's just...
なんだその目つきは。何か文句でもあるのか。
Damn right I got a problem with you, Mr. Minister A. Tifalia also has a problem with you, but she's not going to swear at you. Unforgivable. I was about to raise my hand out of anger, but then... Tifalia! Okay, Tifalia apparently wouldn't swear at you, but apparently she would slap you. Wow, Tifalia. We'll let Vilio do the slapping. With fire, apparently. In an instant, bright red flames wrapped around the minister's body. Vilio?
おっと悪い悪い。イライラしすぎてついため息が出ちまった。
Vilio?
貴様何を。
ま、弱火だから安心しろよ。暑いけど怪我しねえ程度だ。
それでも心配なら。
Ooh, let's drench him too.
冷た。
ちゃんと消化しておいたよ。これでもう安心だね。
ち、ご来性のない連中だ。余計なトラブルを引き起こすな。
Yeah, I don't know about unnecessary trouble, Zephyr. It feels like necessary trouble. I hope you recover soon from that, Nick. It's not fun being sick.
よく言うぜ。ザファラも身を乗り出してたろ。
みんな。
Yeah, Yon, we're all prepared to throw hands for your sake. Yon and I were too stunned to speak as the others stepped forward.
イーオンが王子に悪影響って言うなら、 俺たち全員が教育に悪いだろうな。
はっきり言っとくぜ。それでもイオンを外すって言うなら。
Yeah, it's like, hey, look, Eon might be dangerous, but there's everyone else. Yeah.
俺たちだって抜けてやる。
なんという連中だ。こんな野蛮人に王子を任せるなど考え自体が間違いだったのだ。
Oh, now we're all barbarians. Alright.
アレスト、今すぐ治安維持隊を呼べ。こいつらをひっ捕らえろ。なぜ黙っている若造が。わしらの言うことが聞けんのか。
Alessa's not getting involved. That's the correct answer. Alessa remains silent no matter how much the ministers yelled at him. Weaving his way through everyone was Genia, a bright smile on his face.
あら、おかしな話が聞こえましたわね。王子を任せる考えが間違いとか。それはつまりビゴニア様のご判断が間違いだ。
Ooh.
ジーニア様、余計な口を。我らとことを構えて王城にいられると思うなよ。
申し訳ございません。今の私はこのサーカスの団長。王宮での立場とは一線を画しておりまして、この旅の続行が王子回復のための一大事である以上、十分に検討もせず却下するような占領はできません。
我らが占領だと。
いいえ、皆様は王子を案じる思いが少しばかり強いだけでございましょう。お気持ちお察しいたします。
Wow, he really just silenced them. Makes me wonder if Genia is always like this when he's here. Genia bowed gracefully to the ministers and turned towards King Vigonia.
皆様のご懸念は当然のこと。王子の身の安全は最も優先すべき事項と考えます。けれど、ビゴニアをサーカス団長として正式にイーオンの同行許可をお願いしたく存じます。
Genia! Everyone in the hall, including me, nervously waited for His Majesty's answer. In that moment, King Vigonia slowly opened his mouth.
覚悟の上で言っているのか。
ええ、王もご存知の通り、私はインタリオリングの対抗策を預かっております。
There's a countermeasure?
それでもなお力及ばず、コリブス王子に何かあれば責任は私が取りましょう。煮るなり焼くなりお好きにどうぞ。
Genia had always been running away from his responsibilities during our journey. So for him to volunteer himself like that, it just shows how determined he is. That may have been the first time I felt so proud of our leader.
僕まだ入って少しだけど、でもイーオンやサーカスのみんなからいろいろなものを教えてもらったんだ。それこそこの城にいただけじゃ学べなかったようなことばかりで。
コリブス、
今の僕がいつかこの国を背負う王子として成長するためには、城で正しいことばかり学んでも意味がない。本当も嘘もいいことも悪いことも全部知る必要がある。父様が僕をサーカスに託したのはそういうことだよね。
King Vigonia remained silent before Colobus's questioning gaze.
もうよい。
Breaking into a smile, King Vigonia waved his hand.
そもそもコリブスをサーカスに預けると決めたのは私だ。その判断を今さら覆そうとは思わぬ。
So,
まあ待て。諸君は揃いも揃って最も大事なことを忘れているぞ。
important thing?
そこの少女が先ほど彼に尋ねていた通り、外野がどうこう騒ぐ以前に本人の意思を問うべきではないか。
Oh. King Vigonia got up from his throne and walked to Eon.
おう。
いいよ。結局のところ、君の意志次第だ。
自分の意志ですか。
私も君がどんな人生を歩んだかはアレストから聞かされている。その上であえて聞こう。君はどう。
自分は。
With all eyes on him, Eon fell silent, his head turned downward. And then he spoke.
自分は今までの人生に選択の余地などありませんでした。
Oh, Eon.
フェルスの地下闘技場で刻印の命ずるまま戦った時も、地下闘技場から解放された後、オートで制限ある生活を送っていた時も、サーカスへの参加すらアレストさんが勧めてくれたから、ただそれに従っただけです。ですが、未だにこの鎖に縛られたままで、それでも願っていいのならば。
It was as if he needed to wring the words from the bottom of his heart.
皆と共にいたい。こんな自分でも受け入れてくれる大切な仲間たちと共に、
Eon.
もう一度だけ旅に出たい。
Eon.
言うのが遅いんだよ。たく。
King Vigonia smiled as he watched us run up to Eon and hit his big body with no hesitation.
よかろう。しかと聞き届けた。サーカスの面々よ。コリブスをよろしく頼む。
King Vigonia bowed his head lightly as he made this request of us. After our audience with the king, Alette scolded Genia, dragging him away to take care of the papers needed for our trip. We decided to leave the castle first.
見たか？ミリオが燃やした大臣の顔。
Now, it's very important to note that Vilio didn't burn him.
ざまあつうかなんつうかめちゃくちゃ爽快だったぜ。
The tension broke after we left the castle and started talking about what just happened.
ダメだよラディ。いくら怪我がなかったとはいえ、被害者のことを悪く言っちゃ。
そういうお前も頬が緩んでるぞ。
というか、パサリアがかけた水もかなりの勢いだったよね。
あの分ならもうちょい焦がしてもよかったよな。
Vilio! Jeez, you guys. It wasn't something to be proud of, but they couldn't stop talking about it. I looked up at Eon, who was standing beside me with a complicated look on his face. Are you mad, Eon?
いや、そういうわけではない。皆が自分のために怒ってくれて、 むしろ嬉しいという気持ちもある。ただ
Just what?
一つ疑問がある。なぜあんな騒ぎを起こした？
Because we like you, Jan? Is that so difficult to grasp? Our feet came to a halt when we heard that.
今は延期になっているが、サーカスの任務が成功すれば、自らの願いを叶えてもらえる。コリブスを成長させるという今回の旅が終われば、今度こそ願いが叶うはずだった。
そうだね。それで？
なのになぜ騒ぎを起こした？なぜサーカスを抜けるとまで言った？
Basically, he couldn't understand why we'd do such a thing when our dreams were at stake. Jan's brow furrowed when he asked us this, and I... Well, because you're our friend, it's probably the right option, right? Is this the... Yeah, that's the quick save button. Because you're our friend. Think about it, Jan. Would you just stand there and watch while one of us got kicked out of the group for something ridiculous?
それは
Then we're the same. I stared straight at his speechless face. I don't even want the king's reward if it means I have to leave my friends. To leave you, Jan. Because my wishes... Well, it's still not clear yet, but maybe. I took a small, steady breath and returned my gaze to Jan. We've travelled the world and gone through so much as a team. I want a happy ending, one where we all stay together until we can fulfill our wishes. We've brought smiles to every audience in every city we visited, right? It would just be so sad to know that we couldn't keep doing that until the end. Jan took a deep breath and looked up at the sky in a silent daze.
いろいろと言いたいことはあるが
He muttered with a wry twist to his mouth.
あの一瞬は確かに胸がスカッとしたのは事実だ。
After that, we continued chatting on our way back to the tent. Jan and I walked behind the others as I listened to their conversation.
みんな楽しそうだが、あなたは混ざらないのか？
Nope, I'm sticking with you. I fear you might disappear if I take my eyes off you, and I don't want that.
そんなことは。
You can't deny it, right? I mean, it almost happened today. Jan was at a loss for words as I gently grabbed his sleeve. He didn't even try to push my hand away. I was so stunned when I heard you were going to leave. It didn't feel anything like when I said goodbye to Spirea. It felt like my heart had been gouged out by the thought of not seeing you again.
すまなかった。
Jan, can you promise me one thing? Please don't ever leave without saying anything again. Jan blinked in surprise when I held out my pinky finger. It's kind of embarrassing to be making pinky promises at this age. But I want some proof that this happened. I looked at him, holding on to that feeling.
わかった。
Jan gently took my hand and... That's not what she was asking for, Jan, but that is better. Ooh.
チカオ、あなたが望むならば決してあなたから離れないと。
CG is killing me. I love it. As a matter of fact. Screenshot. um, he actually kissed her. Well, her hand, but still. What? My mind went blank for a moment. All I could think about was the warm sensation on the back of my hand. Yon? What about the pinky promise?
指切りとは何？
Oh no! Oh no, he doesn't know what it is. He just did this instead, on instinct. He doesn't even know.
誓いだが、自分は何か間違っていただろ
You
う
did
か。
nothing wrong, you did everything right, Ian. It wasn't what she asked for, but it was the right reaction. I don't think you did anything wrong.
そうか。ならばよかった。
Ian planted another soft kiss on my hand. I am fangirling over here. Woo. Um,
チカオ、自分はあなたの前から勝手にいなくなったりはしない。
The hot sensation of his lips robbed me of my strength. All I could do was prevent myself from fainting. Mood, Tabalia?
もし離れることがあっても、必ずあなたの元に戻る。
Okay.
これは誰かに強制された命令ではない。自分がただそうしたいだけの約束だ。
The moment Ion's lips slowly and reluctantly broke away from my hand, along with the warm sensation of his breath.
甘酸っぱい。
Oh no! Everyone was watching! Oh no! Someone said from behind us.
まさに青春って感じで、こっちが身もだえしちゃうわ。
Genia? Did you see all that?
そりゃもうバッチリとね。まさかいいよ。
安心してくれ、ティファリア。今すぐ記憶を消し飛ばしてみせる。
ちょっと記憶どころか私の国宝級の顔ごと消し飛ぶ勢いだったじゃない今の。
Genia, there are ways to make you forget.
なんだどうした？
Okay, I think maybe only Genia saw.
青春がどうって聞こえたけど。
Just Genia, okay. That's fine. That's fine.
というかお前ら遅すぎる。うまい雑草でも見つけたか？
It's nothing. Yes, who gonna tease me if they find out? We were just talking about our upcoming trip. That's all. Right, Genie?
まあそうね。そういうことにしとこうかしら。
Yeah, Junior, you better go along with my excuses, otherwise Eon's gonna punch you.
今後の旅か。ああ、そういや、次の行き先決めてなかったな。
順当に行けば前と同じで狩りだからじゃないの？
まあ、本当はその予定だったんだけどね。
We stopped walking after hearing Junior's ambiguous answer.
何かあったのか？
Yeah, something happened that means we need to do this in a different order.
何かというかね。あーちゃんの頼みで旅に並行して仕事を引き受けちゃって。
A second mission. Does it have to do with finding the Intaglio ring? Because I think it will. You think the Water City first? I'm thinking we're going to Ferris. Just because we're on Eon's route. And that's really my only... it's really the only thing that's making me think that.
アレストさんから。
Junior nodded and stared at Eon, who looked confused.
そう。実はついさっき重要情報が入ってきて。10年前にフェルスから流出したインタリオリングの所在について有力な話が寄せられたのよ。
News on the ring's whereabouts.
それは。
In order to free Eon from the ruthless seal residing on his right eye. The Intaglio ring was the only item that might be able to do that. Ah yes, because we don't know for sure whether it can remove its own seal, right? Oh, you thought the Water City because Genia wanted to rush us into getting married, huh? Yeah, I could see him doing that, but... If we find the Intaglio ring, does that mean Eon no longer has to live in fear of being controlled by the seal?
ジーニア、もったいぶるな。つまり俺たちは。
そう。私たちが任されたのは、その回収任務よ。
Yes, but where does that mean we're going, Genia? Chapter 7. We'd received some information on the whereabouts of the Intaglio ring. After Genia let us all know, we decided to head to Liba so we could sit down and talk.
それで、ジーニア、回収任務とはどういうことだ？
それなんだけどね。話せばちょっと複雑にな。
リングの所在は、所有者はいるのか？だとしたら使用された形跡は、まさか他に刻印を刻まれたものが。
Rapid fire questioning.
待って、ステイ
すまない。気がついた。
Eon, I understand you may be feeling anxious right now, but we need to hear what Genia has to say first.
分かっている。
Eon stopped leaning over the table and returned to his seat. Impatience was still clearly written on his face, an expression he had never shown us. It's only natural for him to feel this way. After all, he's been waiting all this time for the ring to reappear. After regaining his composure, Genia started talking again. Ever since the ring went missing in the arena 3 years ago, the government has been searching for its whereabouts. And finally, they had learned 2 possible locations of the ring. Ooh, 2. The first was the labyrinth city, Cultura. In the black markets where many stolen and shady goods were put up for sale. It was said that a ring with a fire element magic stone was being auctioned. Ooh. The other was the dual city Ferris. Rumor had it, the winning prize of a certain contest was a ring infused with fire magic. So, one of them is the real Intaglia ring? I mean, it could be neither of them, right?
その可能性は高いわ。どちらもかなり強い魔力を秘めていたって話だしね。
We all exchanged looks following Genia's brief explanation.
みんなももう知っての通り、インタリオリングは大精霊が残したフェルスのコアアイテム。あの支配の魔力が悪用されれば、それこそ第2第3の地下闘技場が作られたっておかしくないわ。
だからその危険を知る我々に話が回ってきたわけか。
多分王子様がメンバーに加わったのも大きいんじゃない？国宝の一つなら国としても絶対に取り戻したいだろうし。
ええ。ってことでショーはお預け。任務優先になるけどいいかしら。
I guess.
それは別に構わねえけどよ。しかしよりによってクルトラとフェルスの2カ所か。
Or we could split the team up and send one half to Culture and one half to Paris, technically. Not sure that's a good idea, but it's something we could do.
王都からだと西と東で完全に逆方向じゃねえか。
Sometimes you forget the prince is not part of our party. Well, I mean, he hasn't been part of our party for most of the game, so that's reasonable. He also currently isn't with us, I don't think.
ショーが目的でない以上、全員で行動するのも非効率的だ。二手に分かれて確認に行くのが一番手間がかからず済むな。
Hey, Zafra is suggesting the same thing as me. Yeah, I think Zafra should go to his home city because he'll be more likely to be able to find the black market. And Eon should go to Ferris because if it's the prize of a thing, then it's then he's our best chance of getting it. And I'm gonna go with Eon, right? Zafra lightly snorted and turned to Eon.
イオン、どっちに行くかお前から決めたらどうだ？
なぜだ？
お前が一番因縁あるだろ。イオンに合わせてバランスをとって人数を配分する。
そうか。配慮に感謝する。
Eon seemed to be deep in thought, his eyebrows knitted together. If it's the prize of a thing, someone could use it before offering it up as the prize and force them not to be able to claim it. That's true. That would require them to know for sure what it did. And then he looked up and our eyes locked.
ティファリア、あなたはどちらが正解だと？
Which do I think is the real one? Oof. Oof. How am I supposed to know? I thought for a moment after he asked me. I think the real one is... Oh, I have to pick. Oh boy. This feels worryingly like a proper branch point, so I'm actually going to make a proper save. Rather than just a quick save. Which do I think is the real one? I mean, depends how far we think it might have travelled outside of Ferris from where it went missing, right? Someone could have just hidden it. Although I feel that if it was in Ferris, then people would know exactly what it did, right? Well, I mean, I suppose it depends on who found it. Or who hid it, or whatever. I mean, equally, you'd think people just... If someone had just smuggled it out to sell it on the black market, you'd think they'd know what they had as well. What do you guys think? Which do you think feels like the real one? How much of the city knows of the underground arenas? Yeah, I mean, not a lot of... Well... I mean, Eon is reasonably well known, as it were. Which suggests to me that I'd guess within a certain, like, age bracket or whatever, they'd be well aware of it. But then obviously it went away. It technically went missing 3 years ago, which isn't very long in terms of memory. But, like, I suppose if it just, like, went missing and someone with no connection to anything... I can't help but feel like the one on the black market is probably the real one. I don't know, I feel... If the one in Ferris is the real one, I think it's a trap. You know? I can't help but feel that if the one in Ferris is the real one, that it is a trap laid for us. Maybe I'm just a pessimist, but I don't know. Why would something related to fire not be where the fire is? Yeah, I think it's the one in Ferris, and I think it's a massive trap for us. Yeah. I have a hunch it might be the prize in Ferris. It makes sense for the ring to be there, since it was originally...
0点だな。
Zafir is being rude. Even finished talking.
ここで使うのは勘じゃない。筋道の通った理論だ。
I was using logic.
亡くなったのは国宝級の品だし、治安維持隊だって無能じゃない。王都に不満を持っていたとしても、フェルスはこの3年間で徹底的に調査してるに決まってるだろ。
Yeah, okay. I see.
じゃあリングはもうとっくに街の外の可能性が高いんだね。
Okay, that makes me want to go back to the save I just made. And since I forgot to add to quick save, we're gonna have to go properly through the proper load. Need to actually quick save this time. The one on the black market then. Which is what I was going for before I talked myself out of it. Yep, that did indeed get a point. Cultural, I guess?
なんでだよ。もともとフェルスで亡くなったんだろ。だったら可能性高いのは当然フェルスなんじゃねえの？
Yeah, man, That's just proven to me once more that I really shouldn't second guess myself. I second guessed myself into the wrong answer. I'm sure the forces in Ferris have conducted their own searches. But the fact that they haven't found anything in these past 3 years means the ring is in another city.
ああ、な るほど。
I hadn't really thought about that part myself, but
それにアービーと会った際リングの捜索を頼んでおいたが今のところ連絡はない。大会の景品に出されたなら闘技場オーナーであるあいつが見落としていると。
yeah, okay, that's also fair. That's a good point. After listening to everyone's input, Eon simply looked around and nodded.
では自分は可能性の高いクルトラへ向かわせてもらおう。
Shouldn't we be keeping Eon away from the actual real ring? I don't know.
少しでも早くリングを手に入れ懸念を払拭したい。
じゃあ俺はイーオンとは別の方がバランス良さそうだな。
Yeah, I had a feeling that Filio would need to go with the other team in terms of raw strength.
なんなら変身して仲間を背中に乗せて飛んできゃ馬車より早く合流できるし。
Oh man, that team gets to ride a dragon. We can use Eon as a way to confirm the ring is the real one. That's true. That seems rather unfair, but true.
背中に乗るのは構わねえが、そんな何人も乗れんのかよ。
軽い連中だったら問題ねえって。ラディとティファリアとかなら。
Vilio, I'm not coming with you. I'm gonna go with Eon. That's certainly a good idea considering the efficiency of it. But if I go with Vilio, I'll have to be away from Eon. I cast my eyes downward, unable to protest despite wanting to.
よし、そうと決まりゃ早速。
待ってビリオ、僕とラディがそっちに行くよ。
Saved by Passalia.
僕もかなり体重軽い方だし、ダメかな？
お？それは別に構わねえけど。
Passalia gave me a small secret smile. Okay. I was about to say, oh, I guess he's noticed, but I guess everyone has probably noticed. Except for, meatheads like Vilio. He saw right through me. It was totally embarrassing to be read like an open book. But I was a little glad too. Thank you, Passalia.
どういたしまして。じゃあ、おせっかいついでにもう一言。自分の気持ちを大事にとっておくのもいいけど、きっと出すべき時にはちゃんと口に出す方がいいよ。
Yep, he's absolutely noticed. And you're saying maybe the prince, but he's literally asked Tifalia if she likes Eon. So... Also, Pasalia's right, Tifalia. You should tell Eon how you feel. I mean, I know you're not going to do it until quite a while later, probably. But you should.
時間はいつだって残酷なくらい有限なんだから。
Passalia? He went after Vilio then, leaving me with his heavy words. Not till chapter 10, probably, yeah. I want to say chapter 9. Because if we're making the assumption that there's the same number of chapters in this half, and that will end on chapter 10, chapter 10 would be the ending in that case. So I feel like feelings are probably before that. No, they could be in that one actually. I don't know. Following his lead, everyone else also started getting ready.
気をつけろよ、ティファリア。俺がいなくても大丈夫か？
Yep, Eon will be with me after all.
連絡手段は、そうね。それぞれの町のチアーズに速達を送ることにしましょうか。
End of chapter 9 and or start of chapter 10. Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right.
通信杯を使えればいいんだけど、あれは城と通信するためのもので、そもそも一組しかないしね。
I'm fine with that. Let's set off once we're all prepared. So Vilio, Pashalia, and Aradi are going over to Ferris, and then does that mean the rest of us are going to Kultura then? Yeah, Eon, me, Genia, and yeah. So no, wait, I feel like I'm missing someone. I'm missing the prince. Wait, is the prince going with us now? No, we're not performing at the moment, so I'm assuming the prince isn't coming with us now. So yeah, a 3-4 split. That's reasonable. Anyway. We got moving in a hurry. The following night, after starting for Kultura, we decided to spend the night in the forest. I need to go get some water, actually, while we're doing a scene change. I will be right back. And I'm back. 8. I can't sleep. I was feeling really uneasy, so I slipped out of the tent. Thank you for the welcome backs. Phew. What a quiet night. The moonlight shining through the trees was beautiful yet cold, cutting through the night. The contrast of it made the darkness of the forest feel much more prominent. It's as if I'm the only one in the world. My body trembled at the thought, and when I looked down from the moon...
Tifaria.
Oh, Eon is here. Surprise, surprise. Yeah.
こんな夜更けに あなたが起きているなんて珍しいな。
I can't sleep for some reason. Sorry, did I disturb you?
いや、そういうわけではない。だ、
Sorry, hit that too soon. His bewildered look vanished when he nodded, as if he understood something.
ああ、そうか。あなたはいつもラディと一緒だった。今夜は一人だから寝つけないのだな。
Yeah, that's probably it. Oh, yeah, there's that too. Randy has always been by my side ever since childhood. But it's not that I feel lonely, it's just... I never ever imagined that I'd be so far away from him.
ならばラディと共にフェルスへと向かえばよかったのではないか。
That's... I can't say it. I'm feeling restless because Raddy isn't with me, sure. But being apart from Eon would make me feel even lonelier. I desperately tried to hide my inner turmoil. By changing the topic. Why are you still awake? Are you having trouble sleeping too?
いや、いつも通り周辺の警備だ。夜は魔物が活性化するからな。
When do you sleep, Eon?
魔法具で魔物よけをしていても油断はならない。
But we have fewer people than usual now. Will you even be able to sleep?
ザファラと途中で交代予定だ。あなたや子供のコリブスを見張りに立てるわけにもいかないからな。
Okay, Colobus is with us. Okay.
時間的にはもうそろそろ交代の時間ではあるが。
Eon paused and glanced at me.
よければ少し付き合わないか。
I'm pretty sure Genia is not going to volunteer for watch duty. Genia would probably insist that he needs the full length of the night for his beauty sleep. Huh?
温かいものを入れてくる。落ち着けば、じきに眠気も訪れるだろう。
No, that's alright, I'd feel bad. I hastily declined, but Eon shook his head. I assume Genia is with us, because we've got all the tents and stuff. Because I'm thinking it's just the group of 3 that went the other way, right?
いや、気が流行っているのは自分も同じだ。
Maybe he just thinks Genia can take care of himself. I don't know.
付き合ってくれると嬉しい。頼む。
Aw. I'm sure he was just being thoughtful. No, I think he likes you, girl. But it was a sweet gesture. My body feels warm. I held the cup of hot milk Eon made for me with both hands. We sat down under the leafy canopy of a tree and relaxed. Fall asleep on his shoulder, Tifalia! Fall asleep on his shoulder. When was there personalized mugs? That's a good question. I feel like color coordinated mugs was probably Genia's decision. I don't know, it feels like something he'd do. Make sure everyone had their own distinct mug. We'll reach culture in a few days.
ああ、情報が正しければ、そこでついにインタリオリングが見つかるはずだ。
His hand pressed against the eye patch covering his right eye. Gaze lowered to his cup. I watched his profile beneath the moonlight. He seemed lost. Eon, you don't seem that happy, even though there's a chance you may finally find it.
そうだな。正直に言えば、喜びより戸惑いの方が大きい。この先も一生リングの影に怯え続けると思っていたのに、ここに来て突然の話だからな。すべてがうまくいって、刻印に怯えずに済む生活が手に入ったとして、その後、どうすればいいのか。
Sorry, I cut those shells again. Now that I was thinking about it, this was all unknown territory for him. Eon, you said before that you have never been given a choice in your entire life, right?
自分は今までの人生に選択の余地などありませんでした。フェルスの地下闘技場で刻印の命ずるまま戦った時も、地下闘技場から解放された後、オートで制限ある生活を送っていた時も、サーカスへの参加すらアレストさんが勧めてくれたから、ただそれに従っただけです。そうだな。自分は檻の中に隔離された猛獣のようなものだと思っていた。いざ扉を開いてもらって、あとは自由だと言われても、どこにも行く場所がないから、結局檻の中にとどまっている。そんな獣なのだ、自分は。
Sadness washed over Eon's face as he derided himself. Oh, hand contact. Aw. Eon. I laid my hand on top of his. You'll never have nowhere to go again. Because you'll always belong... The second one, let's go! Is it too forward? Nah. Let's double check that quick save. My side. Yeah, that correct answer. We looked at each other in silence, and then my cheeks turned bright red the moment I realized what I'd just said. I said it. I blurted it out, fumbled it, let it slip. I said something I really shouldn't have said in this situation. No, Tifalia, I think you said exactly the right thing in this situation.
Tifalia? 今のは
I could tell Yon wanted to pursue it further, but he paused halfway. An awkward silence fell between us. I couldn't just claim it was a joke, because that would be a lie. But I don't want to confuse him. Oh, you know, remember what Spirea said before? Hey, Tifalia, girl! Don't just walk this back! Don't just walk this back because you're embarrassed. You can always come to our tavern if you ever don't have anywhere to go, and that's what I meant.
そうか。
Girl. Eon didn't ask any other questions after that. Anyway, it doesn't matter where you live. What's important is what you want to do once you're free.
やりたいことか。
Like, maybe, you know, pursuing a performance career after circus. You're a good cook, you could be a chef too. Or maybe you could enlist with the public security forces and live for the people.
確かに、今のうちから考えておけば、自由になった時、迷わずに済むな。しかし実際に考えるとなると、案外難しいものだ。
Eon stopped talking, a distressed frown on his face. The hoot of an owl filled the silence. Even though it should have been awkward, I felt strangely at ease next to Eon. Eon. The man who'd never had the choice to think about his future. If we can't remove the seal, who will keep hold of the ring? The king, I assume, or rather Colivus. I mean, we need the ring so that Colivus can get crowned, right? So I mean, he could just keep it. I would feel secure with him having it, I think. Okay. He's considering his options seriously. I was determined to support him. The answer he came up with was surprisingly simple.
街を歩きたい。
Aww. You just want to take a stroll in town?
ああ。オートや。そうだな。オリエンスもいい。以前あの街をあなたと二人で歩いた時のように。見慣れないものに目を輝かせて、鼻に触れたいい匂いに足を止めて。
It sounds like what you mean, Eon, is that you want to take a stroll around town with Tifalia. And that sounds like a date.
目的などなくてもいい。ただただ、普通に歩きたい。
Wow.
笑われるようなことを言ってしまったか。
Eon has done so many incredible things, but he's skipped the basics. It's just, walking around in town sounds so simple. Nothing special about it. I know just what it's like though. An ordinary life is something I prize too. Rather than funny, it was cute. It's a nice dream to have. When that time comes, can I join you on your stroll?
ああ、もちろんだ。
Eon's hand held mine in a firm grip. Ooh, hand-holding now. I leaned my head onto his shoulder.
「きっとあなたがいるから。いや、あなたがいてこそ。
They're getting all snuggly under this tree.
自分の普通が叶えられる。そんな気がするから。
After that, we talked about our dreams under the moonlight. We wanted to dine at Liba. We wanted to stroll around the underwater park in Oriens. We wanted to hang out on the rooftop of Calidus Sage Tower while enjoying the view. Sure, it was a simple, humble future, but it was our precious treasure together. We continued our conversation until the eastern sky began to grow light, and Zafira scolded us for staying up all night. Aww. So much cuteness. After a few days of riding in the carriage, we arrived at Cultura and almost immediately started gathering information about the Intaglio ring. Zafira spoke with a sour look on his face. We met up at Cheers after learning everything we could.
最悪とは何があった？
Is the Intaglio ring not actually here, or...?
いや、売人に接触してみたが、例の指輪が闇市でオークションにかけられてたのは間違いない。
Someone's already bought it, haven't they?
だが、その落札者が最悪の相手ってだけの話
To
だ。
be very specific, that someone is Zafira's uncle. Zafira spoke with disgust in his voice. But Zafira, does that mean that we're allowed to kill him this time? Or at least arrest him. Well, he basically badmouthed people almost all the time. For him to show this much revulsion, there was only one person it could have been. Let me guess, the winner of the ring is...
バルトだ。
なるほど。それは確かに最悪の事態だな。
バルトって？
クルトラの現迷宮森だ。忌まわしいことにな。
More importantly than him being the Labyrinth Sentinel, Colorless, he's also Zafira's evil uncle. The evil part is the important part.
コリブスにも後で事情を説明してあげるわ。間違いなく言えるのは、はいどうぞってリングを渡してくれるような人物じゃないってことね。
So that it feels like we have two options here, of which the most sensible option is probably plan a heist. And the least sensible but most fulfilling option is to just punch the shit out of him until he gives us the ring. Yeah, it is a little annoying that the wish got postponed because we could have just, removed him from power, but... But it's absolutely necessary that we get it from him. It's a direct order from the crown, and we have to do it for Eon too.
なら、まずアポを取ってみましょう。王都からの使者って伝えれば、門前払いはされないはずよ。
No, we shouldn't tell him what we want directly, Genia. That's just warning him about things, and if he doesn't know what the thing actually does... Yeah, we are kind of relying on him not knowing what this ring does. Basically, right? Yeah, we can't straight up go all in on attacking him if he does now.
で、言うまでもないけど、ザフォラは待機ね。
バカなこと言うな。ここまで来て待機とか。
そんな目で見てもダメよ。あなた絶対冷静じゃいられないでしょ。
It's true. If we wanted to just go talk to him, Zafira should not be there. I don't think Eon should be there either. I think if anyone's going to just go talk to him nicely, I think Genia should probably do it on his own. I don't think we should introduce Colobus to Balto either. It must be hard for Zafira. But making Balto mad right now would only cause more issues. He stomped away angrily as we left him behind. Okay, apparently everyone's going except Zafira. Alright, fine. At Balto's mansion. Several hours had passed. Balto's aide guided us to his office, like last time.
久しぶりだね、サーカス諸君。先日このクルトラで行った公演は大評判だった。
That's extremely punchable face again.
最近のクルトラはどこもかしこも君たちの話題で持ちきりだよ。
Words he uttered with a smile certainly sounded like an expression of admiration. You can just see it in his eyes. His hatred towards us was very visible.
忙しいところに押しかけてごめんなさいね。
Actually, Genia, why did you think this was a good idea? The last time we came to this guy and said, the capital sent us to do a thing. Please abide with the thing. He said no. Genia, why do you think it would work this way?
いえいえ、国に協力するのは国民にとって当然の義務ですからね。
You didn't cooperate last time. Balto looked at each of us as he let out those empty words.
ところで、以前より随分メンバーが少ないようだが。
ええ、ちょっと事情があってね。一部は別行動中なのよ。あなたの知るザフォラも別のところに行ってるわ。
そうかね。彼が双剣ならば何よりだよ。
I don't think any of those words are true, Balto.
町の民を裏切って去ったとはいえ、私にとっては可愛い老いだからね。常々心配していたんだ。
That last sentence, I always worry about him, is probably correct, but in a different way. You don't mean that at all. We made the right choice in not bringing Zafira here.
クルトラの迷宮森バルト、単刀直入に言おう。先日あなたは闇市のオークションでとある指輪を手に入れたと聞いた。その品を我々に譲ってもらいたい。無論適正な代金は国の方から支払わせていただく。
Balto stared at Eon appraisingly. Then he shrugged his shoulders. Alright, is he going to deny buying it, or tell us no?
指輪とただ言われてもな。
He's going to deny buying it.
一体どれを指しているのやら。
とぼけるな。競売に出ていた火の魔法石をあしらった指輪だ。
はてさて、そんな品あったようななかったような。
How about we jog your memory? Calm.
ああ、はぐらかしてもダメよ。裏は取れてるの。なんならその時の落札記録を紹介してみましょうか。
Balto's face wrinkled into a frown.
随分と強引な話ですね。いくら国の使者とはいえ、 突然現れて品をよこせとはいささか身勝手ではないかな。
That's...
そもそも君たちが本当に国の依頼を受けてきたという保証はどこにもない。
Look, he wants paperwork.
国の名を語る詐欺師が品をかすめ取ろうとしている。話を聞く限りではそう考えることもできるが。
Yeah. A faint smile appeared on Balto's face when he saw us speechless.
ではお引き取り願おうか。交渉したいなら書類でも揃えてまた後日。
Ooh. Wait, maybe we do need Colobus. Colobus can be proof.
保証ならあるよ。
Colobus cut him off. Having been hiding at the back, he walked forward awkwardly.
君は確かどこかで見た覚えが。
見覚えがあるのは当然よ。あなたが迷宮森に就任して王宮へ報告に上がった時に顔だけは見てるはずだもの。
Hello, Hunter. I'm doing okay. How are you?
あの時は心が凍ってたから僕の方は覚えてないけど。
な。
The change in Balto was extreme. His eyes went wide and his mouth hung open. He was clearly shocked. Haha! Then the table's on you.
まさかコリブス王子。
そうだよ。僕はビゴニア王の命を受けこのクルトラにやってきた。第一王子たる僕の存在が国からの命である何よりの証拠だ。だからクルトラの迷宮森バルト。
With an exaggerated gesture, Colobus pointed his finger straight at Balto. Objection pose. Like, you say we need documents, but... Objection, I am Prince Colobus, we don't need any documentation handed over. It was as if he was standing on stage. He did the same exact thing Eon and I had told him to during practice.
ごまかそうとしても無意味だ。例の指輪を所持しているのはとっくに調べがついている。それでも持っていないなどと僕に偽りを口にするならば、それは国に対して虚偽を述べることも同然だと心得よ。
After hearing Colobus's speech, Balto looked grim for a moment.
承知いたしました。
That was fast, suspiciously fast. He eventually spat out that single word.
敬愛する王家からの命とあれば拒む理由などありません。
それでは。
ですが今はちょうどその指輪を買い取りたいという商人に交渉を持ちかけられていましてね。
I'm not sure you're telling the truth.
その取引を断ってからとなりますので、明日改めての引き渡しで構いませんか。
Dude, you do not need to have the item to refuse someone's offer. That is suspicious as hell. Hand it over right now. Balto sighed. We did it. No, we didn't. We shouldn't let him have overnight. There are so many things he could do overnight. like actually sell it. Or lose it. Or spend the night figuring out what it is and use it when he sees us. Eon and I shared a pleased look with each other in that moment. I do not trust him, I do not trust
見て
him.
見てザフォラ、みんなが帰ってきたみたいだよ。
Hey, it's Leanne. We're back, Zafira. We returned to cheers after our negotiation with Balto. Zafira clearly looked displeased, while Leanne was grinning ear to ear. Yep, grinning like a Cheshire cat over there.
遅かったな。いやー、サーカスのみんなにもさっきまでのザフォラの様子見せてあげたかったな。ジーニアがボロ出してないかとか、いいように講習は無理だろとか。
Aw, were you worried about us, Zafira? I mean, that was a reasonable reaction, but...
置いてかれた犬みたいにそわそわしてて、そりゃもう。犬はお前の方だろ、この打剣。いいからさっさと仕事に戻れ。はいはい。それじゃあ皆さん、ごゆっくり。
He must be stressed after all that waiting and Leanne teasing him on top of that. After chasing Leanne away, Zafira turned his gaze on us.
で、さっさと聞かせろ。守備はどうだった？
Well, about that.
交渉が成功したのはコリブスの向上が大きかった。もしコリブスがいなかったらもっと難航していただろう。
True. I was surprised when I saw him act so dignified.
僕はショーの時を思い出して喋っただけだよ。多少大げさでも大きな身振りで観客の目を釘付けにしろって。
And you did real good, kid. That is the sort of authority that you need to exude for your position.
そう教えてくれたのはイオンやみんなだったし。
そうか。
We should be alright for the time being. Once Balto hands over the ring tomorrow, finally Eon won't have to be afraid of the ring anymore. My lips curled into a smile.
お人よしどもが。
Maybe I am Zephyr. Because he's already seen the issue. Zephyr rolled his eyes, frustrated.
うすうす察してはいたが、任せた俺がバカだった。
What do you mean?
その容量が足りてない脳みそを少しは使って考えてみろ。ジーニア、他の連中はともかく、お前なら理由わかるだろ
まあね。
Genius simply shrugged his shoulders at the younger man.
本当に引き渡す気があるなら、わざわざ翌日に引き延ばさないもの。
Yep. Huh? Do you mean?
つまりこの稼いだ時間で何かをする気ということか。
Anyway, back to my heist suggestion.
ああ、例えば偽物を作るとか、先に指輪の力を使うとかな。
Yeah, making a fake one is the option I thought of, but... Say what?
ジーニアは交渉の時そこまで察してたの？
ええ、 そりゃ素直に渡してくれるわけないもの。
ならどうしてあの時食い下がらなかったの？
あの場の交渉はあれが限度よ。だけど一番大事な情報、インタリオリングを持っているって現地は取れた。
Yeah, I guess we did prove that he has it, but...
つまり向こうの考えも分かった上で引いたわけか。ではこれからどう動く？自分たちは何をすればいい？
決まってるだろう。わざわざ奴に小細工する時間を与えてやる必要はない。
A daring smirk spread across his face.
正面から言って渡してもらえないなら、裏に回ればいいだけの話だろ。
Heist, heist, heist. Wait. You mean stealing?
うるさいぞ。警備に感づかれたらどうする？
It's not stealing if it actually belongs to the person who's getting it in the end. I'm not sure if that's true.
問題ない。顔を見られる前に自分が一撃で無力化しよ
う。Eon is the muscle for taking out the guards. Zephyr is the brains and also the lockpick. Tifalia is there, I guess. That's not my issue here. That night, just sneak into his mansion and grab the ring. I was steamrolled into following Zephyra's plan. Tifalia is the one who keeps the group together, yes. But I mean, in terms of specifically the heist, I guess maybe we're just using Tifalia to get it. Breaking the law, we slipped past the guards and infiltrated Balto's mansion. Oh, I can't believe we've turned the prince into a common criminal. Oh no, Colobus is with us too! What am I doing? I'm supposed to be his mentor.
大丈夫だよ、ティファリア。僕、旅の間は王子じゃないし。
Thank you, Colobus, but you still shouldn't be experiencing something like this.
大事の前の生じってやつよ。さっさと慣れちゃいなさい。
Everyone is here. Surely it would have made more sense just to send like Eon and Zephyra together. Like, wouldn't a smaller group make so much more sense in terms of sneakiness? I don't know. I don't want to get used to it. I'm only able to do this because it's for Eon. With a heavy sigh, I gave up trying to argue and looked around. The silence of the night filled Balto's dazzling, lavish mansion. A bigger group... Yes, a bigger group can stop Eon easier if the ring gets used, that's true. That is true. But equally, I don't think we have anyone here who can subdue Eon with force. Actually, no. Maybe Colobus's ice magic would do it. It's a trap.
バルトがここにいるのは間違いないのよね。
ああ、確かな筋からの情報だ。
doesn't love have a part to play? Yes. But yes, it would work. But would it work in time? I'm having horrible visions of getting stabbed. You know, and then he comes to. That feels like a bad ending. I don't know.
もう深夜だし、みんな寝ちゃってるとか？
だったらありがたい話だが、そう簡単に話が運ぶとも思えない。
It's probably a trap. Probably a trap.
何かの罠の可能性もある。慎重に進むべきだな。
Probably a trap. Is healing magic a thing? That's a good question. I wonder what element healing magic would come under. I mean, usually I think healing magic comes under like water. I don't know. Water feels like healing, like the right thing for healing magic. Admittedly, Colobus can use all of the elements there. Slowly, we began to investigate the mansion. Yeah, plants does feel like healing magic as well, so yeah, somewhere under earth. We opened the doors one by one while keeping careful watch of our surroundings. We're peering through a gap in the door here, are we? Finally, we arrived at the lobby we had been in earlier. A foul odor came from the crack of the open door. That's not good. Are we talking dead body sort of foul odor or something else? Hion immediately grabbed Colobus and I with a grim face, holding us pressed against him. It's a dead body kind of horrible smell. Given that Eon's immediate instinct is, don't let the small ones see it.
何イオン、どうしたの？
目を閉じろ。中を見るな。これは死だ。
Has someone killed Balto and run off with the ring? What appeared before my eyes was, well, a very suspiciously well-placed puddle of blood, apparently. Okay, there is a body. A man lying in a sea of blood, his body not moving even in the slightest. And standing over him. Who is this? Oh! Oh! It's her! It's our friend! Right? Our little sister. Given the shape of the hair, anyway.
悪いことしてる人は私がやっつけちゃうよって。
Whose dad was also under control of that ring at one point. was a young woman holding a knife that shimmered in the moonlight. Luna? In the moonlight. And her name's Luna, yeah. Well, who'd have guessed Luna was an assassin?
あれひょっとしてティファリアお姉ちゃん
I was speechless. All I could do was stare as she turned her gaze on us.
お姉ちゃんたち久しぶりこんなところで会えるなんて思ってなかったから嬉しい
I really need to know who the dead body is. Because that kind of influences how endangered I feel right now. Because if that dead body is Balto, then that feels a lot better than if it isn't. Because if it isn't, then Balto could be controlling Luna. Luna spoke cheerfully, as if we'd happened to have passed each other in the street. I trembled in fear, seeing her smiling so happily in a place like this, and while covered in blood. This cannot be.
普段は教えないけどパパママがいない同士だから特別
Yeah, I don't think the mark has to be on the eye. I feel like her dad's wasn't. I don't remember if we were actually told that or if that's just something I'm thinking. Actually, why is Luna here? We're not even in Ferris. What's... Oh no.
さっきのお姉ちゃんとっても悲しそうだったから
Are you really the Luna I know? I accidentally spurted out what was on my mind.
なんでそんなこと言うの私は私だよ
Luna looked back at me, wiping the blood off her clothes and removing her hood. The next moment, Colivus let out a hoarse, frightened scream.
あれ床にいるのバルトだよね
Well, so it's Balto. That means he got what he deserved. Continuing on.
Sin
落ち着いてください、王子。動揺するのはもう少し後で。
ルーナとか言ったな。一つ聞かせろ。この男、バルトを殺したのはお前で間違いないんだな。
うん。だってこのバルトって人とっても悪い人だったから。
That's true.
だから、
Yeah,
私がやっつけ
I
たの。
don't like the chain noises. And the implication that Luna is doing this because she's under the control of the ring.
悪いやつと戦ってたパパみたいに私がやっつけたんだよほら見て
Yeah.
その刻印は
Yep. She's got it. It's on her arm.
そう私もつけてもらったのパパやイーヨンさんと同じ勇気の印
So, when did she get that then? My throat was dry. My heart pounded with terror and I felt faint.
すごいんだよ、お姉ちゃん。パパと同じこの印があるとね、頭がふわーっとなって何も怖いものがなくなっちゃうの。
I shook my head, trying to ground myself. I forced myself to speak, voice trembling, as Luna happily traced the seal on her body. You're wrong, Luna. That's not a symbol of bravery.
え？それってどういう？
はいはい、そこまでだ。
Is this Eon's friend and Luna's employer? Did he have the ring? Has he had it for a while? Um,
せっかくパパとお揃いになってルーナが喜んでるってのに。
yeah, it's Avi. Avi, are you a bad guy?
わざわざ水さすなって。空気読んで祝福してやってくれよ。
A man we'd met in Ferris emerged from the next room. It was the owner of the 7th Arena, and Eon's old friend, Avi.
アービー。
よくやったな、ルーナ。悪いやつの退治お疲れさん。イオンたちとは俺が話すから、道の確保しといてくれるか？
はーい。それじゃあお姉ちゃんたち、また後でね。
Wait, I still...
だから話は俺がするって。そう焦らないでくれよ。
Avi blocked the path back out of the room and fixed us all with a strange look.
久しぶりだな、イオン。それと、サーカスの連中も。
アービー。再会の挨拶はいらない。これはどういうことか説明しろ。ルーナの刻印とバルトの殺害は、お前の仕業なのか？
バルトは殺されても当然の男だ。同情する気はかけらもないが、獲物をかっさらわれて俺はひどくイラついてる。納得のいく説明をしてもらおうか。
Zephyr is just like, I'm not sad that Balto's dead, but I am sad that someone did it who wasn't me.
おいおい、そんな目で睨まないでくれよ。
Does that mean this was the merchant that he had a deal with?
むしろこっちとしちゃ感謝してほしいぐらいなんだぜ。
A thank you?
ルーナも言ってたろ。こいつは悪いやつだったって。あいつ、インタリオリングを使ってそこの王子様を狙ってたんだからな。
え、僕？
次期国王である王子様にこの刻印を刻んでおけば、あとは自由自在。
Oh no, that's worse than using the ring to get Eon to hurt the prince. That is worse.
うまく立ち回れば国を操るのだって容易なわけだ。だから正義のためにやむなくバルトを殺すことにしました。それならすぐに国の管理下に入れるから、インタリオリングを引き渡してくれるかしら。
Avi simply shrugged his shoulders at Genia's request.
そりゃ無理な話だ。このインタリオリングは俺の夢を叶えるのに必要だからな。
Nope. We need that back, dude. He then took a ring adorned with an eerie mark from his pocket. That's the entire ring.
旧友としての最後の警告だ。今すぐリングを渡してくれ。さもなくば。
さもなくば？どうする？
Abby's lips twisted into a smirk. That was when Eon made his move. Its hand then jumped, closing the gap between them. He stretched out his hand with lightning speed, the ring within his reach.
そう来ると思ってたぜ。
Harvey was ready for Eon's move before he even made it. His kick dealt a heavy blow to Eon's chest, making the latter fall back with a grimace.
くそ。リングを使われたら終わりなんだ。そりゃ不意打ちしかねえよな。
やめろ。
Eon leapt forward again. He was incredibly fast, yet he'd rushed in recklessly. Navi read his every move.
残念だが。
Uh-oh, that's a bad guy face. We were just about to rush in and help when Abby shot a look at us and slid the ring onto his finger. Uh-oh. No! The heat emanating from the ring was so immense that even someone with no mana like me could feel it. Lurid intangible chains twined around Eon. Eon!
逃げろ。みんな、逃げろ。ティファリア。早く、自分から。
Constricted by chains, Eon collapsed, his head and limbs drooping like a marionette whose master hadn't picked it up yet. What happened? We were stunned as Abby casually ignored us and squatted down in front of Eon. He nonchalantly flicked off Eon's eye patch as he spoke.
思い出せイオン。お前は一体何者だ。お前の居場所はどこにある。
自分の居場所。
Eon belongs with Circus and with me, Abby. You can't steal it. You're not allowed.
共に歩みたいと言ってくれた人の
Yep.
隣で。
違う。
Abby didn't let Eon finish speaking, instead roughly grabbing his head with a ringed hand, forcing Eon to look into his eyes.
3年。あの地下闘技場が崩壊してからまだたったの3年だ。フェルスの市民は触れにくい過去としてその存在を大っぴらには口にも出さねえし、解放された剣闘士奴隷たちももともと剣闘士だったことを隠して生活してるやつがほとんどだ。今や地下闘技場の存在は誰にとっても忌まわしいだけの記憶になっちまった。地下闘技場の英雄だったお前、死神イーオンですら忌まわしい記憶だと背を向けて全てなかったことにしようとしてる。俺にはそれが許せねえ。
Well, that's incredibly unfair.
だから忘れたって言うなら思い出させてやるよ。お前が必死に目をそらしてる人の殺し方ってやつを。
Apparently, Abby wants to restart the underground arena. The ice arrow Colliver's shot grazed Abby's cheek. Yeah, you should have got him through the heart, Colliver's. That's the only way this is ending. I mean, not that, because I don't want Colliver's to do that. When Abby jumped back with a frown, Zephyr and I ran to Eon. Hang in there, Eon. Are you okay?
さっさとこいつを連れ出すぞ。魔法の効果範囲はわからないが。
無駄だっての。
The moment Abby said that, Eon's hands shot out with all his might. We were hurled into the air. Ooh! Ouch! That was not a good sound. We slammed hard into the wall, our breath knocked out of us. I clutched my throat, gasping for air. if your breath getting knocked out of you was the only thing that happened, I'm glad. Oh no! Oh no! I didn't have a second to recover before he unwrapped his hands around my neck, his huge fingers digging into my throat. Okay, I thought it was going to be stabbing and not choking, but...
Ion, 何してるの？ティファリアだよ。サーカスの仲間なんだよ。
無駄だ。声をかけたぐらいで正気に戻るなら誰も苦労しねえよ。
Breathe. It was painful. Ooh, and she's backing out. I was slowly losing consciousness.
これがインタリオリングの洗脳の効果なのか。
洗脳って言うと少し違うな。別に思想をねじ曲げたわけじゃない。刻印を刻まれた者は命令を下されない限りはごく普通に生活を送ることもできる。だがこうやって一度リングに魔力を通すと本人の意識が希薄になってリングの所有者の命令に従うようになる。要するに夢を見てるような状態だ。うっすらと意識こそあるだろうが体が言うことを聞かねえわけだ。
He's still conscious? My eyes widened and flew to lock with Eon's. My vision was blurry with tears, but I could still see his pained expression. He looked like he was about to cry. I'm sorry, Eon. I didn't mean to worry you. I stretched my trembling hand to touch his cheek. When...
水の精霊よ。
Genia's dignified voice suddenly echoed throughout the room.
炎を食らい流し尽くせ。
Sorry. I cut off that chant. In that instant, his grip on my neck loosened as the sensation of cold water mana surrounded us. Okay, so we can sort of block the fire mana with the water mana. That's good. Yep. It collapsed to the floor, nearly lifeless. Ah, yes, the countermeasure. You're right. Genia did say he had a countermeasure, didn't he? I could only make strange, horrible noises. My world was so dark and blurred that I might as well have been blind. And I couldn't see much. I could clearly see Eon on the floor next to me, pain etched into his face. Eon.
なんだ今のは。一体何をした。
あら、そう問われて答える義務があるのかしら。
Also, water wasn't one of Genia's elements, right? Genia is a little bit of wind and a little bit of something else, was it? But I don't think it was water. I mean, it could have been water, actually. It could have been a little bit of water, and therefore he couldn't help Phasalia, because Phasalia was stronger. Or, I don't know. Genia shot the younger man a tearing smile as he stared in confusion.
おいイオン、命令だ、立て。命令は聞いてるが。
V glowered at Genia, looking both wild and hesitant. He clicked his tongue and spun around, calling to Eon.
ここでの目的は果たした。行くぞイオン。
He spoke with displeasure, kicking the window open and jumped. Eon followed behind him, putting his foot on the window sash before pausing. He looked back at me. Wait, Eon! If Avi was telling the truth. Eon must have been in a sleepwalking state as he followed the redhead's orders. Sleepwalking, a condition that causes a sleeping person to get up and walk around. Those who are under the Intaglia Ring's command exhibit similar trance-like symptoms. Despite that, Eon stared at the handprints he'd left on my neck. That is not going to be good for his brain.
すまない。
It was as if he'd wanted to say that from the beginning. As if he'd felt the need to say it.
さよなら。
As if he was going to use that as an excuse to stay away from Tifalia, which is a... Yep. He forced the words out from the back of his throat, still bound by the chains. And just like that, he jumped outside. Hyun!
無理に動くな。酸欠だ。そのまま横になってろ。
But... the chase after Eon!
アービーが慎重なおかげでギリギリ命拾いしたわね。
My vision was still blurry. The moment Genia took a deep breath, the mystic tool in his hand crumbled away. Oh, it was a one-shot as well.
さっきイーオンを止めた魔法具か。使い捨てなのか。
イーオンをメンバーに加えるとき、念のための対抗策として国から借り受けていた魔法具よ。え？王もご存知の通り、私はインタリオリングの対抗策を預かっております。
Is that the countermeasure he mentioned back then?
火の魔法を短時間の間中和する魔法具、レリークは
Reliqua. The mystic tool used to neutralize fire magic for a short period of time. It will fall apart once it exceeds its usage limit. This expensive item is hard to obtain, so Genia borrowed it from the king when Circus set off on their journey.
ただ、さすがに大精霊級の力を抑えるのはきつかったみたいね。
のんびり話してないで、今すぐ追いかけようよ。正面口から回り込めばまだ追いつけるかも。
いいえ、どうもそう簡単にはいかないみたいよ。
Oh, because now people are going to think that we killed the Sentinel. Zephyr, I think you should be using the window to get out as well. Otherwise, someone is going to accuse you of killing your uncle.
わかりません。ロビーの方から。バルト様は施設にいらっしゃらなかった。今すぐ確認に向かえ。
Zephyr knit his brow, frowning as the voice got closer.
血まみれで倒れる町の有力者。そしてそばには恨みを持つ王位。状況証拠だけでアウトだな。言い逃れしようがない。
バルトの部下たちが正しい判断を下せるはずもないし、ここは逃げの一手しかないわね。
賛成だ。だが。
Looking down at Balto's corpse, he shoved his hand into the dead man's pocket. Oh, we'll be trying to get the item. Then...
これは回収させてもらう。
Yep, we are going for the amulet. In Zephyr's hand was the cherished labyrinth necklace.
ティファリア、動ける？
Yeah. I slowly started walking with everyone's help. Why now? Yon had been bound to those chains for so long that he'd never been able to think beyond tomorrow. He'd finally pictured his future. He'd told me he wanted to lead an ordinary life, with me once he got the Intaglio ring. Once he was free, but now... Desperately trying to hold back my whimpers, I left the mansion. Oh, apparently we didn't get caught on the way out. Eon POV. Which is not going to be fun. Yeah, that's true. Zephyr doesn't need the eraser anymore. He can have a different wish now, right? 10 years ago, I was a country bumpkin who'd just come to Ferris, the Jewel City, after losing both of my parents in an accident. The security forces training school was in Ferris, and the enlistment exam was also held there. I wanted to be independent, hence I decided to try joining the forces because they provided the officers with food, clothing, and shelter. Be someone who protects people. That is what my parents wanted for me. However, with the chloris bloom rate decreasing across the city, public safety deteriorated at a rapid pace. Crime and corruption ran rampant behind the scenes, including human trafficking. I was naive and ended up being deceived by a slave trader and sold to the underground arena. On that day, the disgusting seal was engraved into me.
いい音とか言ったよな。お前バカだろ。大バカだろ。
どういう意味だ？
俺たちはここの連中にとって大事な商品なんだぜ。そりゃ命がけの試合もあるが、せいぜい数ヶ月に1回かそこら。あとは適当に戦ってりゃ最低限の衣食住は保証されるし、死ななきゃ治療も受けられる。なのに奴らに逆らって刻印を刻まれちまうとか、バカ以外の何者でもねえよ。
だが人を傷つけるのは悪いことだ。自分の両親は常々言っていた。人を守れるような男になれと。自分はその教えに恥じるような、そんな生き方はしたくない。
そりゃご立派なことで。けどここで生き延びたかったらそんな考え捨てちまうんだな。何しろこうして刻印を刻まれちまった以上、お前の体はもうすでにお前のものじゃない。
Only I were a little bit smarter and did what Avi had told me. Perhaps I could have played my cards right and chosen another path. Unfortunately, I was much stupider, more incompetent and stubborn than now. As a result, I was thrown onto the worst path possible, becoming a slave of the seal.
さあ、イーオン、試合の時間だ。手加減する必要はない。刻印の命ずるままに殺せ。
戦いたくない。傷つけたくない。もう殺したくない。
Whenever he commanded me through the ring, the world grew hazy and filled with distant, sorrowful cries. It was like a nightmare I could not wake from. I was simply a bystander. I could only watch the tragedy I caused from afar.
思い出せない。
The enemy in front of me should have been my fellow slave, trapped in the same cell. Both of us wished to survive, to live another day.
名前も声も顔も 人を守れる人になるだ。両親の残してくれた教えも、同じ牢で過ごした仲間も、そして初めて愛おしいと思えた人の自分は何一つ守れなかった。むしろこの手で、自分自身の手で傷つけた。
He'd be beating himself up about that. Despite that, she hid her pain and fear of death while I had strangled her. How could she have looked at me with such gentle eyes at a time like that? What had she wanted to say to me? What do you want to... No, this was her line, I think, from before. Like, what do you want to do? Suddenly, the words she had uttered back then rang in my ears.
やめてくれ。
I could not stop fighting, no matter how much I wanted to. Though I would not be surprised if I ended up forgetting what I had been wishing for one day.
その問いはあまりにも残酷で、あまりにも優しすぎる。
Ouch! My painful yet peaceful dream ended abruptly. Ah, let's see, is back in the arena.
ここは地下闘技場。
ご名答。懐かしいだろ。牢屋みたいな作りの闘技場も、舞台に刻まれた戦いの傷も、俺たちのいた3年前のままだ。まるでここだけ時が止まってたみてえにな。
アービー、あいにくこの光景を見たところで自分は懐かしさなど感じない。そんな思い出話をするためにここに連れてきたのか。
そう身構えるなって。お前とまともにやり合ったら俺なんて5分も持たねえよ。けど逆らっても無駄ってお前自身よーく知ってるだろ。そうそう賢明だ。友人同士仲良くやろうぜ。
突然人を拉致するような男を友人などと呼びたくはない。改めて言う。リングを渡せ。そして自分を解放しろ。
解放してどうなる？
それは
連中の元に戻るか？できるわけねえよな。あの連中も実感したはずだ。お前がどれだけの爆弾かってな。どんな優れた猛獣使いだって檻なしで獅子は飼えねえよ。だろ？
Abby's being just as bad as those ministers. No matter how much I wanted to argue, I could only groan. The only thing that managed to escape my lips were a few pointless words of acceptance.
なぜだアービー。こんなことをして何になる。バルトが企んでいたように王子に刻印を刻んで操るというならまだ理解はできる。だが自分を手元に置いても何の意味が。
仲間だからだよ。
This doesn't seem very pal-like, Abby.
何？
Abby smiled sadly as he glanced around the arena.
もともとはこの地下闘技場な、潰されちまう予定だったんだ。だが、それを俺が買い取った。埋めちまうのはもったいないってな。
It should have been demolished, Abby.
それも理解できない。お前だってこの場所には忌まわしい記憶しかないはずだ。
ああ、そうだな。猛獣、魔物、人間。何度も命がけで戦わされて、金持ちどもがそれを見て笑って、いいことなんてなかった。クソな記憶しかねえ場所だよ。
ならば、どうして？
けどな。だからって全部を消し去ったりできねえだろ。俺は認めねえ。俺たちが流した血をなかったことにしようとする奴らに思い出させてやる。
I could not help questioning him when I heard that. It was as if he despised everything.
アービー、まさかお前はまだ弟のことを。
どうだかな。
He grimaced for a moment. Then he left.
まさか再びここを訪れることになるとは。
He scanned the deserted arena.
見張りもなしか。逃げようと思えば可能だが。
He must have left no guards here on purpose. He knew I had nowhere to go, even if I did escape. Even if I managed to get outside the ring's sphere of influence, I would still only spend the rest of my life in fear. Oof.
お、いたいた。イーヨンさん。
ルーナ。
アービーさんにね、あなたの身の回りの世話をしろって頼まれてるの。案内するからついてきてくれる？
I simply nodded and followed her. Then my steps quickly halted.
ルーナ、一つ聞かせてくれ。あなたはなぜアービーに従う？
なぜって、私アービーさんのところで働かせてもらってる立場だし。
受付の職務に殺人は含まれないと思うが。
ああ、クルトラの？だってあれは悪い人だったもん。アービーさんも褒めてくれて、ご褒美もたくさんもらえたし。
Avi, what have you been doing to this kid? She smiled innocently as her fingers lovingly grazed the seal on her skin. Watching was so unbearable that I opened my mouth again.
ルーナ、それはあなたが言っていた勇気の印などではない。むしろその逆で、人の意志を奪い取る呪いだ。
何それ？パパだって勇気をくれるって言ってたよ。
Yeah, because your dad was definitely not going to tell you what it actually did. Was he?
勇気をくれる印などではない。それは呪いなんだ。その刻印を刻まれた者はリングの命令に逆らえなくなる。あなたの父も実際は。
うるさい！黙ってついてきて。
I let out a mental sigh as she shook her head and resumed walking.
やはり自分は口下手だな。これがティファリアなら傷つけることなく、しかし正しく伝えられるのだろう。
Tifalia. A wry smile came to my lips when I thought of her.
未練がましい男だな。
And speaking of Tifalia, back to Tifalia mode. And yeah, I don't think there's a way of telling Luna that without hurting her feelings. Anyway, now that we're back to Tifalia's POV, it seems like a good point to finish today's stream, so thank you very much for coming, it's been fun. If you're new here and you've enjoyed your time, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can also follow me on social media, which is linked below. The streaming schedule is posted both over there on social media and over here on YouTube in the community tab. The next scheduled stream is tomorrow, Tuesday. A slightly different week this week. So tomorrow, Tuesday, for some more Bacon Kaitos. Hope to see you then, or another time. Once again, thank you for coming, and this is Kalla signing out. See ya, bye bye.